Okay, let's talk about some things we probably all love. Coffee, chocolate, bananas. For most of us, they're just simple daily pleasures. But today, we're going to look at them through a completely different lens, the lens of fair trade. I mean, really think about it. It's a simple question, right? We just pick these things up at the grocery store. It's almost like they appear there by magic. We're often totally disconnected from the people and the places that actually produce them. But what if we took a second to trace it all the way back to the source? And well, that's where we find this huge contrast. For us, a cup of coffee is just part of our morning ritual. A piece of chocolate is a little afternoon treat. But for the millions of farmers and workers behind these products, the reality of making them, it is anything but magical. So why? What makes their reality so tough? It really comes down to the way our global trade system is built. And a lot of the time, it's just plain unfair. Think of it like a game where the rules are rigged from the start. The odds are just completely stacked against the smallest players on the field. And that's the day-to-day reality for so many small-scale producers. They're left totally vulnerable, often not even able to cover their own costs. All of these challenges create this brutal, vicious cycle. Prices can swing wildly, so farmers have no idea what their crop will be worth. Then, you pile on the massive threat of climate change, plus exploitative middlemen taking a huge slice of any profit, and what you get is a recipe for trapping families in poverty. Just let that sink in for a moment. This isn't just about economics, it's about human dignity. Imagine putting in all that effort, growing something the entire world loves, but not being able to provide the absolute basics for the people you love. But here's the good news. There is a different way. Fair trade is all about trying to rewrite the rules of that unfair game to create a more balanced, more equitable system for everybody. Now, it's so important to get this straight. Fair trade isn't charity. Not at all. It's a business model, one that's built on real partnership and respect. The whole point is to give producers the tools they need to build their own future. So how on earth does it work? Well, the first tool is an absolute game changer. It's called the Fair Trade Minimum Price. Think of it like a safety net. So the global market price for coffee can totally crash, but for a fair trade farmer, the price they get can never fall below that guaranteed floor. This provides the kind of security that's almost unimaginable in the conventional market. And then, on top of that minimum price, there's the Fair Trade Premium. This is an extra sum of money that's paid directly to the farmers' cooperative. And here's the amazing part. They get to vote, democratically, on how to use that money for their community. Maybe they build the only school in their village, or dig a new well for clean water, or invest in better farming techniques. It's a process that empowers the entire community. So we've seen the problem, and we've seen the solution. Now let's bring it all back home. Because in this whole system, you and I, the consumers, we actually hold a surprising amount of power. Every time we shop, we're basically casting a vote with our money. When you choose a conventional product, you're often, without realizing it, supporting a system of exploitation. But when you choose fair trade, that's a vote for stable incomes, for community investment, for a better way. This quote just frames it perfectly. That small price difference isn't just a cost, right? It's an investment. It's an investment in fairness and in human dignity. It's a conscious choice to line up our spending with what we actually believe in. So, what does this all mean for the bigger picture? Well, the fair trade movement is so much more than just some niche market. It's really a model, a kind of barometer, even, for a more ethical and sustainable global economy. Because really, the whole architecture of global trade is shaped by the sum of our choices. Our individual decisions, when you add them all up, they create this massive force for change. When enough of us demand ethical products, corporations, they have to listen. We have the power to create a better system. And that really is the fundamental question we're left with. It's a huge challenge, no doubt. But the fair trade movement shows us that it's possible. It asks us to think about a world where the value of a product isn't just its price tag, but the well-being of the people who brought it to us. A world where every single purchase can be a real choice for change.